Hello and welcome to the final film in the current series of Lino with Laura. We're filming it slightly differently because we wanted you to have a really good look at both the Lino block and the finished print. So this is the Lino, at least what's left of it. I did clean it off so you could see the remains of the Lino from the final printing. That black you can see is the watercolour, the Sumi ink that I painted on it as a cutting guide. So that's still there. And the rest of it basically is now completely cut away. And you'll also see at the edge where I've chopped it away so that I don't get any ink transfer, along with the hack we had to do to register that paper so that we could use paper with a decal all the way round and still have the print line up perfectly. So the whole thing has been printed on my Albion press, and in a second or so you'll see the big weight of the press that goes down onto the print. There we go, and the handle for pulling across to take the print. So just coming into focus, this is Birch and Winter Sky. And I've called it that because the sky is a really important part of this print, in my opinion. It kind of sets the atmosphere for a kind of blowy winter day and all the movement in the print. The colour palette is really, really restricted. I use white ink, phthalo blue, burnt umber and extender. So that's the only coloured ink. So 3 coloured inks and extender to do this print. Now the tree, you'll notice the branches, they've only got 1 layer of ink on them at the base where they're on clear paper. With over the sky there are 2 layers because obviously the branches are printed on top of the sky. So I've kept that really crisp throughout by just printing it the once. And the sky, I'm particularly pleased with the brushwork in the sky, because when you're doing a sort of blowy wintry sky, using a brush to cut the marks is a great way of getting a real sense of flow and movement. And it's followed down into this hillside here by using the brush to give that feeling of the sort of snow. Here you can see it better in the sky, that kind of quite dynamic feel, and the contrast of the white cloud whipping up against the blue sky. It's not as tricky to cut as you might think at first, so it's something I would really urge you to have a go at. It's quite a nice project to learn to cut like that. The paper's been really important. So this is the Kitakata from the Awagami Paper Factory editioning range. And what I like about it are the slight flecks in it, the kind of very natural quality. And it's 39 GSM, so it's a really delicate paper, but yet it stayed beautifully fresh throughout the entire process. So now you're looking at the whole print, you can see how lovely that paper is and how well it stood up to the printing. And the finished print, there are 15 in the edition. And if you're interested in the details of the cost and the dimensions and so on, it's all on my website in the gallery. So there we are, the finished print, Birch and Winter Sky. And I'm really proud of the fact that I managed to get all 15 of the original pieces of paper all printed perfectly with no ink in the wrong place. Probably because I had you guys along for the ride and I was being really, really careful. But it's not over yet because tomorrow night I'm going to do a live stream. Ben and I are going to set up in the studio and we're going to do a live stream to talk about the project. I've had some questions about framing and how we're going to frame this print. And we have very specific framing plans so that we can show off that lovely decal around this Kitakata paper from Awagami. So I'll show you an example of how we do that kind of thing tomorrow night. For those of you who can't join live stream, it'll still be up there to view after we've done it, so you won't miss out if you can't tune in. And when I say 8 o'clock at night, we'll be over on YouTube at 8 o'clock London time, available to chat. So that's it. But there's loads more I could be saying about Linocut, and I'm really hoping that I can make some more Linocut films. In fact, I'm almost sure I can. But a lot of you have also asked if I do the same series of videos, but all about Japanese woodblock. So basically a Lino with Laura, but for Japanese woodblock, going from design right through to finished print. And we've set up a GoFundMe page for donations, because we've loved doing this project and we'd love to do a Japanese woodblock one, but we can't fund it on our own. So if you'd like to see that, do think about chipping in with a donation, you know, however small, it all helps. So join me for live streaming on Friday if you can. And thank you very much for coming along for the ride and producing this print. And I just can't wait for us all to be allowed out so that I can hang it in a show and show it off in real life. Thank you so much. Bye for now.